Alright, here I go, playing Dragon Age Origins again, only this time it is a heavily modded game, as you can see here by Sten in the foreground, who has been modded to look like the Kunari in Dragon Age 2. A bunch of the other characters have been modified as well, because my brother came over and he showed me how to download mods. For example, Morgan now has some fucking clothes on. Isn't that amazing? Not much more in the way of clothes, but some. So we are going to talk to the
What do you wish of
characters
me?
and see all the changes and things that they have to say. Look, I mean, she's still got all of the titty cleavage going on, but she's got, like, sleeves. Sleeves on her shirt. And it's not just a fucking halter top hanging out in the middle of nowhere.
If you must.
So we are just going to talk to other people. We're going to ask her, have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
I'm glad you think so. Or you don't have to answer if you don't want to. I'm gonna say I'm glad you think so.
And I am glad you are so glad. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit
Yeah.
of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
You really had no trouble with them?
I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I will never know. Flemeth would warn them, once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Did you actually kill them all?
Me? No, I never did any of the killing, until later. And even then, Flemeth was a glutton for that sort of thing. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
Probably this elf, who is not big, on Templars would think that they got what they deserved.
Perhaps they did. Still, I do not begrudge them doing what they believe is necessary. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates. And apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true. Still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
If I were a mage, I might think the same, my character says.
Thank you for small favors, then, at the very least. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
So one of the mods, which may explain some of Morgan's behavior here, is the queer mod. I also installed the polyamory mod. I am not sure how the two mods will interact and if it will break the game. So I have saved my files from before I installed the mods, and hopefully if the entire game breaks, it will be retrievable. But yeah, so Morgan was being a little flirtatious there, as she only will be with women if you install the queer mod. Otherwise, she is completely heterosexual. Which makes no sense, because her character really does not seem straight. I'm just saying.
What do you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something. Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
Human, question mark?
Oh, she certainly was human. Once. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Ah, I see. That does explain much. I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself. and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Yes, I've heard this part, actually. You find out in the Dragon Age Inquisition that, or actually, pardon me, in Dragon Age 2, that the elves have, or I should say the Dalish elves, have their own stories of Flemeth. They just call her Asha Belinar. I can't remember what that translates as, but they call her Asha Belinar. So I think at some point this character would recognize the story. I don't know if she would do it this fast, actually, though. So we'll just say, just how long ago is this?
Many centuries before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conabar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conabar the jealous lord, who looked on from afar. Lord Conabar approached young Osen, and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
Flemeth must have been angry.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conabar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
She spoke to spirits or demons?
Spirits first, and 'twas they who slew Conabar. Flemeth did not turn to the demon until much later. Lord Conabar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Which? That she never invaded? Or that he never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
Let's see. Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
How is it that Flemeth has survived for so long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters, doesn't it?
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds, after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
An interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
Let's see. My mother died a long time ago, since apparently the incredibly shitty writing in the Dalish Origins tells us this.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
She is not very comfortable with feelings. Oh, Morrigan, we're going to talk to her
What do
again.
you wish of me?
I'd like to ask you something.
If you must.
Never mind. Okay, so we finished that particular dialogue tree. Now we get to talk to some other people in the camp. This is going to be mostly a character dialogue video.
It speaks.
Yes. You're still with me, I see.
Yes, its adventures are interesting, even if the chances for success are remarkably slim. It would be better to throw oneself off a cliff, I suspect. Does it wish me to leave? I can, though I see no reason to go.
No, stay. You're quite helpful.
No doubt. Without me, it would have to carry its inventory on its own. Perhaps we should continue. Its chances of success are small enough without further dawdling.
Shale! Shale, I love you! Marry me, you beautiful stone femme!
It speaks.
I have some questions.
It doesn't have better things to do.
What could be better to do than you, Shale? Are those crystals in your skin?
I like to think of them as accessories.
Oh god, I love Shale! Ah! Do all golems have them?
I suspect that it is an art that was practiced when golems were more, commonplace. My former master collected whatever lore he could find on the subject. He searched far and wide to collect what crystals he could and then added them. It is not an unpleasant sensation.
So they're decoration.
As I understand it, the crystals allow me to alter the flow of magic around me. Wilhelm had hoped to turn me into a battery of mana, something he could tap at will.
Did he succeed?
Not really, although now that I think of it, these attempts may be what caused my disruption. Some of the crystals increase the presence of mana, some absorb or reflect spells. There are various kinds. All I can promise is that should it ever find one of these crystals, I can likely tell it the function and what it would do if added to me.
So basically what Shale is saying is that these crystals make Shale too fabulous to handle, too fabulous to control. The fabulousness cannot be restrained. Not by commanding rod or whatever the hell the thing is called or by anything else. It's the best. Shale's amazing. Are you willing to have more added?
Why not? I don't get to wear clothing and other adornments like the rest of you creatures after all. That answers its question, I assume? Unless it has more.
I'm told you killed your former master.
Oh? How interesting. Certainly I remember having a master. My memories of what happened to him are vague.
Vague, but not non-existent.
Clever and true. Oh, very well. Let me see what I can recall. My former master enjoyed experimenting upon me. I remember that much. There was tinkering with spells, and then the crystals. He was very eager to alter my function, I think.
Alter you? Why? You're fine as you are.
Flattery, and obvious flattery, too. I feel warm and fuzzy inside. He possessed my control rod. And back then, it would have prevented me from doing anything he did not command me to, no matter how I might have wished to. So what happened? I am unsure. He was experimenting, and then nothing.
So he hit the kill me button by accident.
Oh, ho, ho. It does like to laugh, does it? But who knows? I may have such a thing. And then he was gone. I was standing where I was, in the village, and I could no longer move. The villagers came, poked and prodded me in fear, and then realized they could neither move me nor destroy me. So they simply left me. And in time I forgot I hadn't stood there all along.
That must have been terrible, I'm sorry.
In fact, at first I found it more of a relief. For so many years I'd had to leap to that little toadstool's every command. Get this, pick up that, put it down, pick it up again. The gall! At first I'd hoped he'd simply decided to leave me there paralyzed. An acceptable trade-off. After years passed, I simply stopped caring.
Maybe it does have something to do with your crystals.
Possibly. Except that he was not experimenting with the crystals at the time, I think. But my memory is not good. It may be correct. Whatever the mage did seemed to render the control rod useless, for which I should be thankful, yes? And provided it doesn't decide to copy his experiments, not that I would allow it, it has nothing to fear from me. Much.
Sounds good to me.
The things that it fights, and it fights things often, that is a different story. Let us get back to the walking and the fighting. My stone is beginning to itch again.
Oh, Shale really approved of that one. So you never do really find out what in the fuck happened to Shale there. How did Shale gain free will? What allowed Shale to kill Wilhelm? Why does the control rod no longer work? Why did Shale stay frozen and unable to move until activated again by the password? We don't know. That never gets explained at any point ever. So that is the thing. Let's go talk to Alistair.
You know, maybe this isn't the best time to be thinking about this, but I've something to ask you. Chances are we'll be heading to Denerim soon. And when we're there, I wonder if we might be able to look someone up.
You have a friend outside the Grey Wardens?
I'm not talking about a friend, exactly. And no, it's not that sort of friend either. The thing is, I have a sister, a half-sister. I told you about my mother, right? She was a servant at Redcliffe Castle and she had a daughter. Only, I never knew about her. I don't think she knew about me either. They kept my birth a secret, after all. But after I became a Grey Warden, I did some checking, and, well, I found out she's still alive. In Denerim.
That's wonderful news.
She's the only real family I have left. The only family not also mixed up in the whole royal thing. I've just been thinking that maybe it's time I went to see her. With the blight coming and everything, I don't know if I'll ever get another chance to see her. Maybe I can help her. Warn her about the danger, I don't know.
So this is an interesting spot where the lore in later Dragon Age games completely conflicts with what they say here in Dragon Age Origins. Because as of Dragon Age Inquisition, they decided that Alistair doesn't have a sister, I guess, and that his mother is actually an elf woman who used to be the head of the Grey Wardens until the taint in her blood spontaneously disappeared and she stopped being able to be a Grey Warden and then became the head of enchanters in, I believe, the Ferelden's Circle. Which makes literally no sense with Alistair's entire subplot in this whole game. And they give no explanation for that retconning or how it is supposed to work with this lore at all, which is fucking terrible writing. I have no idea what the hell they were going for with that. So either Alistair is a half-elf who comes from a line of Grey Wardens who is possibly immune to the Blight, or He is the bastard son of the king and a human servant with a half-sister by a different father. So we have no fucking idea. It doesn't make any sense. No attempt to reconcile the two has been made, so far as I know. But anyway, we are talking about his sister. So we'll say if you want to try and find her, we could look.
Could we? I'd appreciate that. If something happened to her and I never went to at least see her, I don't know if I could forgive myself. Her name is Goldana, and I think she remarried but still lives just outside the alienage. If we're in the area, then, well, it's worth a look.
So Alistair slightly approves, and we get a new quest. He is the first of the companion quests we get. We're gonna talk to him some more.
Something on your mind?
Hey, we get to flirt with him for the first time. Has anyone ever told you how handsome you are? AKA, my character is going to fist you.
Not unless they were asking me for a favor. Well, there was that one time in Denerim, but those women were not like you. Why? Is this your way of telling me you think I'm handsome?
You know, just enough. How would she reply? She's not maybe the most coordinated person socially in the world, but she's not a complete nincompoop either. She is politic at times. You know you're handsome, Alistair, and if it is, what then? You know, we're gonna say that one.
Oh, nothing much. I just get to grin a bit and look foolish for a while.
Cute. We're gonna talk to him again.
At your service.
Oh, that changed him to at your service, I see. I have some questions.
Of course.
So what can a Templar do well, no. Tell me about the Grey Wardens. That's a nice neutral one.
Such as they are.
Where are the nearest Grey Wardens from here?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Is there a headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt. Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfells, 1,000 miles from here, but I've no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
So what happens now that there's just the two of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Loghain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight. So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
Will we need to start rebuilding the Order?
I mean, eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right? But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be two of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
So you find out later that actually what's in the joining cup that you drink from is not only darkspawn blood, but blood from the last archdemon combined with lyrium. So yes, the materials for that are pretty difficult to come by, because you don't just have archdemon blood lying around on the shelf. But yeah, I think you find that out either in Inquisition or Dragon Age 2. I can't remember when you find that out. What would happen if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden? I don't know. If there's an archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
He probably disapproves of that.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. At your service.
At your service. I have some more
Of course.
questions. Tell me about, so how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it, and pass out. You haven't forgotten already, have you?
If you don't want to answer, then say so.
I never meant it that way. Don't be like that. Let's see. I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
So you mentioned before.
It's really for the best. I'm not exactly the Chantry type, if you haven't noticed. I don't think I would have made a very good Templar. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
I'm sorry. He just cries every time his dead daddy is brought up.
No, it's... I'm sorry. I shouldn't be. It's fine.
So,
He died a hero. They all did. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
I think I evened out approval and disapproval in that conversation and ended up with nothing. So now let's talk to Sten and see how modified he is.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is what the Qunari look like in Dragon Age 2. You find out that they often have horns, but Sten specifically and explicitly is stated to not have horns, which you also find out in Dragon Age 3 is considered by the Qunari to be lucky and assigned that that particular individual is destined for greatness, given that this character Sten winds up the Arishok, aka the leader of all Qunari, by Game 3. Apparently true. So let's see. What were you doing in that cage?
Sitting, as you observed.
Actually, you were standing. Cute. You're the silent type, I see.
Your grasp of the obvious is remarkable.
He's such a sarcastic asshole this early in the game. Part of the mod also installs here gives Sten Black Sclera, which many Qunari also have in Dragon Age 2, though not all of them in Dragon Age 3. You don't like me much, do you?
Warden, if I truly disliked you, I would leave. That I am still here, you may interpret however you choose.
He likes you. He's just the strong and silent type. Are you going to answer my question?
I did. Parshera, was there anything else?
I wanted to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then.
Apparently not.
Then I suggest we move on.
I have a
I
question.
am hardly surprised.
Why did you come to Ferelden?
I was sent to be the eyes of the Antom. The Arishok asked, "What is the Blight?" By his curiosity, I am now here.
So the Arishok, you find out later, crash lands in Kirkwall and stays there for a few years, and thus sets into motion the plot of Game 2, at least partly. What's an Arishok?
The one who commands the Antom, the body of the Qunari.
Did you find the answer to his question?
A portion of it.
Do you have to report back then?
Yes.
So what are you still doing here then?
I cannot go home.
Why not?
It doesn't matter now. Can we move on? We keep the Darkspawn waiting.
I wanted to discuss something you
Speak,
mentioned.
then.
Apparently not.
Then I suggest we move on.
Let's go.
As you wish.
Sten approves. Not that you can tell. But yeah. So, yeah, as you can see, it extends sort of the skin horns back from his head a little bit there. He doesn't have actual horns, just like these sort of skin flaps here around his face. And it changes the structure of his face, pulls his forehead forward, and makes his ears bigger and pointier, and his sclera is black like that. So he looks much more like the Arishok from Game 2. So we've talked to Alistair, we haven't talked to Liliana yet.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
You have Traveling Minstrel, you have tales.
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I
Ferelden
think.
legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Flemeth? Or I met a Flemeth in the Korkari Wilds.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men? Flemeth, mother of witches? Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists?
She didn't really introduce herself as such.
Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
You find out that some of those stories are actually partially true. Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
Oh, plot thickens. We're hearing a lot about Flemeth today.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Korkari Wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her. But when Flemeth and Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Korkari Wilds.
So yeah, not much of her version is true, as Morrigan has just told you, and you find out a lot more of it in Dragon Age Inquisition. Liliana approves of getting to tell you stories, basically. And I think that's all the people we have to talk to so far, except for the dog. So now we will go forth and prosper. Oh, among the other mods I did was to show helmets or not show helmets. And you can put the dog in your party without making him a party member, so you can have like 5 members of your party, kind of. Yes. Shale, Sten, Morgan. Oh, well, no.
Blast and damnation!
Vashaden.
Indeed.
Yes.
We're going to Denerim next, I guess, so. Denerim! Fuck to the yeah. Oh, we are going to experience a conflict on the road. Oh, I wonder if this is what I think it is.
Oh, thank the Maker. We need help. They attacked the wagon. Please help us.
Yep.
Follow me. I'll take you to them.
This is exactly what I think it is. First, I'm going to
Let's
loot
get
this elf
started.
fruit. You know, not that this is important or anything. Well, gee, this isn't a setup at all. Severin!
The Grey Warden dies here!
Severin! Oh, or I'm stunned. That's cool.
This should be easy enough.
I got
Severin!
Head will make lovely crunching noises.
Ah, this really gets the blood pumping.
Oh, Severin! You utter nugget!
Right ahead.
Severin, you utter nugget!
Trap! As you wish.
Oh, I should actually read that codex about the Friends of Red Jenny. I'll have to find that one, because that one is actually of interest. Alright, the text here says, the elven assassin is wounded and unconscious, but alive. You could tie him up and talk to him if you wished. Wake him up and talk to him. This is another part where the writing is really bad and doesn't make any sense. Also, why the fuck did they skin a cow and just leave it in the background? What the shit is that?
Oh, what? I rather thought I would wake up dead, or not wake up at all, as the case may be. But I see you haven't killed me yet.
That could be easily rectified.
Of that I have no doubt. You are most skilled. If you haven't killed me, however, you must have kept me alive for some purpose, yes?
I decided I wanted to torture you first.
Oh, so you kept me around to have a bit of fun, did you? But the purpose behind torture is usually to interrogate, yes? In that case, despite the potential for fun, perhaps I'll save you a bit of time and get right to the point. My name is Zevran. Zev to my friends. I am a member of the Antivan Crows, brought here for the sole purpose of slaying any surviving Grey Wardens, which I have failed at, sadly.
I'm rather happy you failed.
So would I be, in your shoes. For me, however, it sets a rather poor precedent, doesn't it? Getting captured by a target seems a tad detrimental to one's budding assassin career.
Too bad for you, then.
Yes, it's true. Too bad for me.
What are the Antivan Crows?
I can tell you that. They are an order of assassins out of Antiva, very powerful and renowned for always getting the job done, so to speak. Someone went to great expense to hire this man.
Quite right. I'm surprised you haven't heard much of the Crows out here. Back where I come from, we're rather infamous.
Not for being good assassins, I see.
Oh, fine. Is that what you Fereldans do? Mock your prisoners? Such cruelty.
You came all the way from Antiva?
Not precisely. I was in the neighborhood when the offer came. The crows get around, you see.
Who hired you to kill us?
A rather taciturn fellow in the capital. Logan, I think his name was. Yes, that's it.
Does that mean you're loyal to Logain?
I have no idea what his issues are with you. The usual, I imagine. You threaten his power, yes? Beyond that, no, I am not loyal to him. I was contracted to perform a service.
And now that you've failed at that service?
Oh, well, that's between Logan and the crows, and between the crows and myself.
And between you and me?
Isn't that what we're establishing now?
When were you to see him next?
I wasn't. If I had succeeded, I would have returned home and the crows would have informed your Logan of the results, if he didn't already know. If I had failed, I would be dead, or I should be, at least as far as the crows are concerned. No need to see Logan then.
If you had failed?
What can I say, huh? I am an eternal optimist. Although the chances of succeeding at this point seem a bit slim, don't they? No, I don't suppose you'd find that funny, would you?
How much were you paid?
I wasn't paid anything. The crows, however, were paid quite handsomely, or so I understand. Which does make me about as poor as a chantry mouse, come to think of it. Being an Antivan crow isn't for the ambitious, to be perfectly honest.
Then why are you one?
Well, aside from a distinct lack of ambition, I suppose it's because I wasn't given much of a choice. The crows bought me young. I was a bargain, too, or so I'm led to believe. But don't let my sad story influence you. The crows aren't so bad. They keep one well supplied. Wine, women, men, whatever you happen to fancy. Though the whole severance package is garbage, let me tell you. If you're considering joining, I'd really think twice about it.
Thanks, I'll take that under advisement.
You seem like a bright girl. I'm sure you have other options.
Why are you telling me all this?
Why not? I wasn't paid for silence. Not that I offered it for sale, precisely.
Were you... There's no reason for me to believe anything you say.
Oh, very true. Thus, there's no reason for me not to tell you everything, is there? As it is, if you're done with the interrogation, I have a proposal for you, if you're of a mind.
I'm listening, make it quick.
Well, here's the thing. I failed to kill you, so my life is forfeit. That's how it works. If you don't kill me, the crows will. Thing is, I like living. And you obviously are the sort to give the crows pause. So, let me serve you instead.
You must think I'm really stupid.
I think you're royally tough to kill, and utterly gorgeous. Not that I think you'll respond to simple flattery, but there are worse things in life than serving the whims of a deadly sex goddess.
He has a point. Can I accept the same amount of... can I expect the same amount of loyalty from you as you gave to Logain?
I happen to be a very loyal person. Up until the point where someone expects me to die for failing. That's not a fault, really, is it? I mean, unless you're the sort who would do the same thing, in which case I don't come very well recommended, I suppose.
Oh, Zevran, baby. And what's to stop you from finishing the job later, eh?
To be completely honest, I was never given much of a choice regarding joining the crows. They bought me on the slave market when I was a child. I think I paid my worth back to them plus tenfold. The only way out, however, is to sign up with someone they can't touch. Even if I did kill you now, they might just kill me on principle for failing the first time. Honestly, I'd rather take my chances with you.
Won't they come after you?
Possibly. I happen to know their wily ways, however. I can protect myself as well as you. Not that you seem to need much help. And if not, well, it's not as if I had many alternatives to start with, is it?
What do you want in return?
Well, let's see. Being allowed to live would be nice, and would make me marginally more useful to you. And somewhere down the line, if you should decide that you no longer have need of me, then I go on my way. Until then, I am yours. Is that fair?
Why would I want your service?
Why? Because I am skilled at many things, from fighting to stealth and picking locks. I could also warn you should the Antivan crows attempt something more sophisticated now that my attempts have failed. I could also stand around and look pretty if you prefer. Warm your bed. Fend off unwanted suitors, no?
Bed warming might be nice.
See? I knew we could find a common interest. Or two, or three. Really, I can go all night. So, what shall it be? I'll even shine armor. You won't find a better deal, I promise.
Basically, he's telling you he is a total service submissive, a huge slutty bottom, and a total kinky freaking sack. Which is great. Zevran is great. Though, really, it makes no logical sense that you would do this. It is a very stupid idea, because the writing is very bad for recruiting characters in this game. Really. Really it is. But whatever, we're going to recruit him. So here we go. Very well, I accept your offer.
What? You're taking the assassin with us now? Does that really seem like a good idea?
Persuade. Don't worry about it, Alistair. We could use him.
Alright, I see your point. Still, if there was a sign we were desperate, I think it just knocked on the door and said hello.
Welcome, Zevran. Having an Antivan crow join us sounds like a fine plan.
Oh, you're another companion to be, then? I wasn't aware such loveliness existed amongst adventurers, surely.
Or maybe not.
I hereby pledge my oath of loyalty to you until such a time as you choose to release me from it. I am your man, without reservation. This I swear.
Yeah, he is gonna be my man. If the polyamory mod works correctly, I'm totally banging both him and Alistair. It's great.
Oh, blast it.
And we want, let's go with Zevran for right now, or not, apparently
Pigeon crap.
I can't
Yes.
select him.
Pigeon crap.
Yes.
There we go. Accept. Alistair disapproves slightly. Not without reason! In terms of actual logicalness, that made no fucking sense whatsoever. Because again, the writing of this game is at times very bad. Which I did not realize the first time I played it, but I have now realized in excess. Now we go around looting the battlefield. As one does, really. I mean, just... what the fuck is a skinned cow doing here? Why this? And not just one, but several. Why? Why would anyone do this? It's cruelty to cows, it's fucking disgusting, and it takes a lot of time. I mean, just... Alright, that is the battlefield looted, and another playing character acquired. So now we continue on our way to Denerim. Ta-da! What are we even doing here? We are going to... oh, we're trying to find Brother Genitivi. That's what we're doing.
So, I imagine it has been some time for you, Liliana.
Some time for me. I do not know what you mean.
Some time since you last knocked boots, shall we say? You did just come from the cloistered life, no?
Of course it has been some time. There are more important things in life than knocking boots, Zevran.
Oh, I'll not argue that. I simply mean that the body has urges. Urges given to us by the Maker. Yours must be considerable after all that time.
That is a very personal question.
I mean no offense. I simply offer my services should you ever feel the need for release.
Let me think about it then. Should every man in Ferelden suddenly die, you may even have your chance.
Haha, progress.
So Zevran is an inveterate flirt and a total failure at it almost 150% of the time. He's really bad at it.
Good day.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was gonna check in the codex. Codex. Fricka. Fracka. I'm trying to, because we need to find that one for Friends of Red Jenny. Because Friends of Red Jenny come up later in the game, actually, and are a big, big deal in Dragon Age Inquisition, where we meet the Friends of Red Jenny. Culture and history, maybe? Arabelles, the Dales, City Elves. Fuck, it's impossible to find anything here. It's so irritating. This is why I never read anything in the damn codex. Redcliffe, Grey Warden's Darkspawn, Korkari Wild. Urgh! Items, maybe? Harvard's Aegis, Creatures, Archdemon, Ashwraith, Chenlock. This is impossible to fucking find. Oh, God. Why is this so badly organized? Magic and religion, maybe? Oh, God. I want to see what Dragon Age Origin has to say about the Friends of Red Jenny. But apparently, I have been utterly denied. Because it just doesn't fucking say it anywhere. Books and songs, maybe? Ugh. Ugh. Journal. Ugh. Notes, maybe? Grr. Nothing? F this. Quest related? You've gotta be fucking joking. If it's in here, I'm gonna be so irked. Friends of Red Jenny. Fuck this. Let's see. So, Friends of Red Jenny. The task was never promised to be easy. You said you could enter the Circle Tower, and you were believed. Find the small painted box in First Enchanter Irving's office, and deliver it to the door marked in Denerim as we agreed, or be prepared to find yourself hunted across Ferelden. Friends of Red Jenny. There's a sketched map of several doors. It requires the box to be placed on it to block out false leads. So you actually do that mission later in the game, which, if you get the box without reading that particular thing, just makes no sense whatsoever. And you're like, why am I taking this box to this particular place? It's just all very confusing.
Magic exists to serve man and never to rule over.
Magic exists to suck my butt. Shut up.
Who have taken his gift and turned it against his
Sister Justine.
Strange that matters can be so tumultuous and yet the day still be so bright. Oh, my pardon. Just thinking aloud. Are you here for the Chanter's Board?
Who are you?
I am Sister Justine, curator of the reliquary of this chantry. Pride again. It is hard to live up to the example of Andraste.
What's the curator do?
The archivist tends the books, and I tend the sacred relics. I also search for more to add to our collection, which is more difficult than it sounds.
There are still relics to be found after all these years?
My thought exactly, but I'm perpetually amazed at how quickly people accept fantastic claims at face value. A hawker on the street will claim to have an actual finger bone of Andraste. In this city alone, you could make the skeleton of 10 prophets from fingers alone. Curators often accept them as genuine. I worry about the authenticity of even our most holy artifacts.
I've got to go.
Of course, enjoy your visit to the chantry.
So the reason I talked to her is that you do actually find items later that you can give to her, and it doesn't really make any sense that you'd know who she is unless you've talked to her first. So I've talked to her.
In the name of Andraste, Bride of the Maker, be welcome in this house. While the cathedral is closed, if you need to make wedding or funeral arrangements, you'll have to talk to Sister Oma.
Did someone die? I remember a funeral.
King Kalen died, remember? Along with most of the army at Ostagar? Maker guide them all.
Why is the cathedral closed?
That which you fear, living in the shadow of death alone, I have seen it is only a cloud passing before the sun.
The death toll at Ostagar was staggering. We've had a funeral every day for a lost son or daughter of Denerim, and we've many more yet to hold.
What's wrong with your friend?
Are they singing the chant now? It's a funeral, isn't it?
He should have retired to Val Royeaux years ago, but he wanted to stay and serve the remainder of his days in his homeland. It's the lyrium that does this.
Lyrium does this to him? Why doesn't he stop taking it?
He wouldn't be a Templar anymore.
Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked and do not falter.
He doesn't forget who he is, even if he can't remember anything else.
So you find out...
May the light of the
hold
Maker
on.
guide your steps.
You find out in Game 3 there is actually a character who is trying to break his lyrium addiction, and if you fuck that up for him, he turns out pretty much like this guy, only homeless and begging in the streets for money to buy lyrium. Happy ending there!
On it.
Oh god, I don't... Here we go. No. Yeah, except this is the one we need all the corpse gall for, which is fucking disgusting. Black.
All men are the work of our Maker's hands.
Black.
From the slave
Corpse parts. I don't want it.
My client appreciates your generosity.
What? 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 Okay. Well, that was incredibly confusing.
Ha ha ha! The bustle of a market district. The pickpockets home away from home.
Just gonna steal your shit right in broad daylight. No bags. Oh, let's save and talk to whoever this asshole is.
You here to report another crime? I swear we should just cordon off the entire district. Oh, can I help you, Warden?
Actually, do you need any help?
What? You're serious? I mean, yes, I could use help. I've got a pretty popular, establishment that's crawling with mercenaries. If I send my boys in, someone might get, Maker forbid, hurt, and I'll have to explain to their noble fathers that being a guard is actually dangerous.
What's the pay?
Do a good job and I'll see you get some silver in your pockets, maybe even some gold.
What do you need me to do?
The name of the whorehouse is the Pearl. Beat down any mercenaries that are out of line and send them a message. I said beat down, not kill. Let me make that really clear. Not on fire, or exploded, or make a nose, whatever type of grisly death you can dream up. Sorry. Used to giving orders to my boys. Just leave them breathing and I'll be happy.
Sign me up, Sergeant.
Thank you, Warden. Happy hunting.
Sounds amazing. Now, we're not going to talk to any of these weirdos, because who the fuck cares what they have to say, to be honest. We are going to talk to whoever this asshole is.
Turn your attention elsewhere. My business does not concern you.
Of course.
Thank you and farewell.
I have no idea what he's doing there. How about we steal shit, though? Yeah! Steal more shit, yeah!
Dwarven crafts.
Find dwarven crafts direct from Orzammar.
You won't find better.
So this is another character that you find out more about, just like Jowan, depending on what origin story you choose. So if you choose to be the dwarf, and a dwarf of royal descent specifically, he is actually your royal bodyguard and a member of the warrior caste in Orzammar.
Dwarven crafts. Find dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
If you
You
choose
won't find better.
Oh, God, please shut up, Gorham. And if you are playing as a female royal dwarf, he can even be your lover. So you wouldn't know anything about that if you hadn't played that origin story. As it is, he's just chilling the fuck out here.
I recognize you. From Ostagar. Andraste's blood. You're a Grey Warden. Duncan's apprentice. You killed my friend. And good King Kalen. I demand satisfaction, sir.
And you have Zevran's fucking voice actor. Really? Huh. Satisfaction?
An uncommon traitor deserves no common death. We will meet on the field of honor, and my blade shall see justice done.
You're
Meet
fucking
me in the back alley
Alistair.
behind the Nod Noble Tavern. There we will duel.
Very well. If you insist on dying, you'll get your duel. Let's see, I won't fight a misled fool. Logain's charges against the Wardens are false.
So you would compound slander on top of treason? You dare smear Terran Logain's word?
If you're wrong, you'd be killing an innocent.
I cannot take that chance. As much as I feel in my bones you are guilty. Leave, Warden. If I find proof, we will meet again.
Oh, I didn't actually know that you could talk to him without killing the shit out of him. Apparently you can! Well, that's nice. I didn't want to have to kill him. I mean, because why bother, really? So much effort. So much mess. Okay. Now, to go to Fine Dwarven Crafts, direct from Orzammar.
Dwarven Crafts. Welcome, welcome. We sell only the strongest dwarven...
Really
In
don't
times
care.
like this, surely your group could use some extra protection on the road.
Show me what you have.
Every...
We really don't need his advertisement spiel. It's just not that interesting. Oh, yeah, he's even selling off his own shield from when he was the royal bodyguard. He got exiled, in case you're wondering. Oh, no, cancel. There we go. I don't actually need any of this other stuff.
Dwarven Crafts. Fine Dwarven Crafts.
Yes, yes, you have
Direct from
fine
Orzammar.
dwarven crafts direct from Orzammar. Don't believe the lies! Friends of the Grey Wardens assemble! Continue. The hidden pearl holds the key to resistance. The griffins will rise again. Continue. So you actually find out later that as a side quest you can access in the pearl itself.
By order of the new Earl of Denerim, no one is to enter the alienage.
So you're just trapping all those people in there?
Maker, don't be so melodramatic. It's a temporary lockdown, not a performance of Dane and the werewolf. The Jarls ordered the gates sealed until order is restored. No more than a day or two, I'd wager. They were writing, killed the Jarl's son. With the whole Urian family dead, the regent appointed Rendin Howe of Amaranthine the new Jarl of Denerim. First thing he did was lead a purge of the alienage. It's a mess in there. When things are put back in order, the gates will be reopened. Now on your way.
So if you pick being a city elf, you actually participated and experience the purge of the alienage, the death of the Lord's son, and all of that. It's really a horrible, dramatic interlude and very depressing, as one would really expect. So now we are going to go to Wade's Emporium and thus introduce two of my favorite characters. Hell yeah! Yeah, Wade's Emporium! Yes! Yes! Well, first I'm gonna loot chest. Because, let's be real, that's how I roll. Oh yeah, Wade and Heron, come on!
Welcome, friends. Welcome to Wade's Emporium. We have the finest armors in Denerim, maybe in all of Ferelden. How may we assist you?
Let's tell me about Wade.
You're obviously not from around here. Wade is possibly the most brilliant armorsmith in all of Ferelden.
That's not true, Herin. The dwarves of Orzammar make the finest armors around. These piles of rust droppings you forced me to make are worthless compared to their work. You never let me have the time, the materials to make something special.
Customers expect their armor in a timely fashion, not years late like the last time.
That happened once, just once, and you never let it drop.
Who's in charge here? So, as may be obvious, they are a gay couple. A fabulously flamboyant gay couple. It's beautiful and I love them. So who's in charge here?
I am.
Wade owns the Emporium, but without expert assistance and, well, prodding, let's just say the Emporium has improved substantially with our partnership.
But I do miss the good old days. I could really take my time to make quality.
Oh, by all means, you can return to them. And to the gruel you used to fancy.
No. Sorry, Herin.
I love them so much. They're so married.
Certainly.
Oh, God, they're so good. Heavens bless them. I don't actually have anything I want right now. But whatever. They're so good. I'm going to talk to Wade.
Herin, the bloody customers are bothering me again. What do I pay you for, anyhow?
Sorry. Wade is a genius. Truly, you will be astonished by his work. But he doesn't deal with customers. If you need anything, please ask me.
And tell her I don't want her looking over my shoulders making doe eyes at me either. I'm thinking, blast it all.
Truly sorry, sire.
Sire. He normally only calls him that in the bedroom. So that's Wade and Heron. They are a delight, and I adore them. Oh, Wade and Heron. Heron, more correctly. Where am I going next? Elven Alienage, Brother Genetivi's home, Nod Noble Tavern, Wonders of Thedas. So we're going south. Do. Nod Noble Tavern, here we go. Let's get some XP.
This is where the nobility comes to get drunk and decide who is the most self-important of them all. Good times.
Allow me. I could do that for you.
You really can't.
What can I get you, stranger?
Let me see what you have.
Right. I'll show you around.
Yeah, that's all we really want, and that's just a gift.
Now we drink more! Now we drink more! Next, drink to battle and
I'm
victory!
a Crimson Ore! Which way you looking, or we'll rip your damned eyes out and piss in your skull! Another round for me men!
That's gross.
I'm a Crimson Ore! Which way you looking, or we'll rip your damned eyes out and piss in your skull! Another round for me men!
Gross. Why you gotta be so gross?
What can I get you, stranger?
Let me see. So you basically ask him if you can do something with him illegally. Um... You know what, we might as well just accept these while I'm here. What is this?
My shift's nearly over. Thank Andraste.
We've heard that actress a few
You know,
times
Alistair,
before.
Antiva has a long tradition of royal bastards.
You don't say.
Oh, yes. They've led wars to claim the throne. Some of them have become kings. In fact, I'd say the current royal line in Antiva stems from bastard blood several times over.
Well, aren't you just chock full of useless trivia today?
Sadly, whenever a royal bastard rears their head in public and declares themselves, it often goes poorly for them.
Let me guess. They get assassinated.
Only the very popular ones.
And the unpopular ones?
Well, they get by somehow, I'm sure. There was one fellow who did quite well working as a prostitute based on his uncanny resemblance to the king. Charged a fortune.
Couldn't afford him, I take it.
That cynicism will serve you well, my friend. Hold on to it.
Oh, so that's Alistair and Zevran for you.
Let's get started.
What? An empty fucking chest? Rude. Now I'm gonna steal shit. Yeah.
Let's get started.
Sweet. Stealing all your shit. Taking all your stuff. Fuck yeah. You locked your door and thought your room would be safe, but you were wrong. Alright, apparently that is all you can do in here for now. Do 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 do. Much loading, such screen. So yeah, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, that's right. We have to find Alistair's sister's house around here. I forget where exactly that is. I want to say it's maybe right around here. Let's see if we can find that while we're thinking of it. Just because I'm going to forget in like 5 minutes otherwise.
Dwarven crafts. Fine dwarven crafts. Direct from Orzammar.
You have to have Alistair in the party and you have to go right near the house. There we go.
That's my sister's house. I'm almost sure of it. This is the right address. She could be inside. Could we go and see?
Yes, let's do that.
Will she even know who I am? Does she even know I exist? My sister. That sounds very strange. Sister. Sister. Oh, now I'm babbling. Maybe we should go. Let's go. Let's just go.
Baby has social anxiety. Oh, Alistair. Alright, we're gonna save. And in we go.
Right.
So much loading.
Hello?
Hey, you have linens to wash? I charge 3 bits on a bundle. You won't find better. And don't trust what that Natalia woman tells you either. She's foreign and she'll rob you blind.
I'm not here to have any wash done. My name's Alistair. Well, this may sound sort of strange, but are you Gordana? If so, I suppose I'm your brother.
My what? I am Goldana, yes. How do you know my name? What kind of tomfoolery are you folk up to?
Are you sure your information was correct, Alistair?
Yes, I think so. I'm sure of it, in fact. Look, our mother, she worked as a servant in Redcliffe Castle a long time ago before she died. Do you know about that?
You! I knew it! They told me you was dead. They told me the babe was dead along with Mother, but I knew they was lying.
They told you I was dead? Who? Who told you that?
Them's at the castle. I told them the babe was the king's, and they said he was dead. Gave me a coin to shut my mouth, and sent me on my way. I knew it.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. The babe didn't die. I'm him. I'm your brother.
For all the good it does me. You killed Mother, you did, and I've had to scrape by all this time. That coin didn't last long, and when I went back, they ran me off.
That's hardly Alistair's fault, is it?
And who in the Maker's name are you? Some elf to follow him about and carry his riches for him?
Hey, don't speak to her that way. She's my friend and a Grey Warden, just like me.
Oh, I see. A prince and a Grey Warden too. Well, who am I to think poorly of someone so high and mighty compared to me? I don't know you, boy. Your royal father forced himself on my mother and took her away from me. And what do I got to show for it? Nothing. They tricked me good. I should have told everyone. I got 5 mouths to feed. And unless you can help with that, I got less than no use for you.
I'm sorry, I don't know what to say.
Let's see. Persuade, maybe. Let's try this one.
Well, he found it. And what good is that to me? None, that's what. Unless he can see to it that his family lives as it should.
I suppose maybe I could give her some money from my nieces and nephews. 15 sovereigns, maybe? Would you let me give her that?
Yes, go ahead if you like.
Then here, Goldana, take this money. I know it's not much, but...
You, a prince, marching in here with your fancy armor and such, and this is all you got to offer? You must think I'm very stupid.
No, wait, I don't think that at all. I want to help, if I can.
You want to help? You go to whatever high and mighty folks you run with, and you tell them you've got nephews and nieces that aren't living as they've a right to. You do that!
This is the family you were searching for, Alistair.
Yes, apparently so. And let me promise you this, Goldana. I'll do whatever I can, speak to whomever I have to ensure you and your children are taken care of.
That sounds all well and fine. But you'll have to forgive me if I don't exactly hold my breath.
You have my promise. I can't give you more than that. Let's go. I want to go. Goodbye, sister.
I mean, I can't say I really blame her. She's a bit angry, but in her position, I would be too. And mind you, if Alistair, who's not the brightest of boys, just walked in and was like, hey! I'd be like, the fuck is this noise? Pretty much the same as Goldana. He doesn't inspire a great deal of confidence in his world-navigating skills.
Well, that was not what I expected, to put it lightly. I lived up to my promise, I suppose, but this is the family I've been wondering about all my life? I can't believe it. I guess I was expecting her to accept me without question. Isn't that what family is supposed to do? I feel like a complete idiot.
So, it's not in any way obvious. But if you select any option other than this one, it pretty radically changes his character choices later in the game. Like, for example, if you are in a romance with him, and you choose any option other than this one, you can't stay with him if he becomes the king, I think. Or, I forget exactly what it is. But it does create major repercussions if you choose anything other than this one. Which is pretty fucking ridiculous. That literally one dialogue choice in one conversation should rule his character decisions later to that degree, but there it is. So here it is. Everyone is out for themselves. You should learn that.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I should. Let's just go. I don't want to talk about this anymore.
So yes, that is that. Okay, so we've been to Goldana's house, Wade's Emporium. Now we need to go to the Wonders of Thedas. Oh, we need to go around this first, then we need to go to the Wonders of Thedas.
Do you think they sell silk ribbons in that store? I've been meaning to spruce up my boots for the longest time.
As you wish.
That's Leliana's way of telling you she's actually a high femme and
Let's
likes
get
being
started.
beautiful. So if you get her high femme type presents, she approves quite a great deal. Leliana's, she's okay as a character. I mean, I'm not terribly enamored with her just because she's not very complex. I mean, none of the others are either, really. She's just, if you like them, sort of very religious and sweet, she's a lovely character. Just happens to not be my type, and I think they don't really write her in a way that's well enough to be as compelling as some of the others, like Sten, for example. Well, actually, now that I think of it, no, Sten is absolutely fucking terrible in terms of some of his writing, so I completely rescind that statement.
Welcome to the Wonders of Thedas.
No,
We
I really
carry
don't care.
items crafted by the
Browse his wares. Do. Tome of Arcane Technique. No, it's not useful. Here we go. Gift. Ooh. That is actually quite useful, but I can't acquire it yet, so I will not. We will, however, sell some things. And that's really all we have to sell.
Where do you think they get all this stuff? You think they, have any miniature golem dolls?
That is Alistair's way of telling you he really likes weird sculptures. Miniature golem dolls, by the way, which is probably also his way of telling you that he has a crush on Shale. He will not at any point elaborate on that later in the game, I am just saying. Who wouldn't, though? Shale is amazeballs, has a really hot ass, and is a stone-hard femme. What is not to love about them apples? I'm just saying. Stone femme! Hard femme, stone hard femme, get it? But yeah, they are in fact both stone, literally. Stone in terms of queer dialect, and femme, and hard. So it's just, it's one of my favorite puns! Plus I just love Shale a lot, Shale is so great. So there's like no point to this warehouse other than to like loot stuff in here, so I'm not really sure what's the point of it. It's a little confusing why it's even here, but whatever. I like looting stuff. So we're gonna loot stuff in this warehouse, if it will ever load, which it may not. Oh, there it did. I rescind my previous statement. God damn it. Loot the thing.
This should be easy enough.
I won't take the blame for this one. This was bad from the start. No way he was here to deal.
What is this? I don't remember this.
Thanks. I ain't sticking around to see how this turns out.
Oh, it must be one of those illegal contracts that we took in the tavern. That's what it is. No wonder I didn't ever find a point here before, because I never took those contracts. That makes more sense. Well, apparently we now have an entire body bag in our inventory, because it makes sense that we're carrying that around the middle of town in broad daylight. Sure. Whatever. And again, more loading. Okay, is this? No, that's the... Is this Brother Genetivi's home? Here we go.
Wish.
So here we go. My boyfriend is listening to cute gay music in the background. It's very cute. I think you're cute, darling. First, I'm gonna read all your books and rifle through your papers. What? Let me read the damn book. There we go.
On it.
Actually, we will talk to him first.
Yes? What are you doing here?
Who are you?
My name is Waylon. I'm the assistant of the scholar Brother Genetivi. This is his house.
Where is he? I'm looking for him.
That makes two of us. I haven't seen Brother Genetivi in weeks. He sent no word. It's so unlike him. I'm afraid something has happened. Genetivi's research into the urn may have led him into danger.
Do you think he's in trouble because of the urn?
Perhaps the urn has been lost for a reason. I pray for Genetivi's safety, but hope dwindles with each passing day. I tried to send help, but some knights came from Redcliffe looking for him not long ago. I sent them after Genetivi, and they too have disappeared.
Where did you send them?
Now don't ask me where they went. You'll go after them. And what if ill luck should befall you too? This search is a curse on all of us. Some things are not meant to be found. I know that now.
I'm willing to risk it. Tell me where he went.
So be it. All he said before he left was that he would be staying at an inn near Lake Calenhard, investigating something in that area.
What exactly is he investigating?
I don't know. All I discovered from going through his research was that he was staying at the inn.
But you just said that he spoke to you and told you that.
Yes, of course he told me, but I also went through his things to see if I could find other clues to his whereabouts.
Intimidate? You sound nervous. Are you hiding something?
That's not true. I told you everything I know. Brother Genetivi told me about the inn, and that's all.
Us? Who's us?
Us? I mean me. There is no us. Bah! Why do I keep up this charade? I gave you a chance to turn aside and forget you ever heard of Genetivi and the urn. But you persisted. Now it has come to this. Andraste, forgive me, I do this in your name.
Really? One unarmed mage against a bunch of armed fighters. Sure. He blew himself up. Good job, Waylon. You're an idiot. Like I said, that is rapid and brutal.
Right.
Give me that book. Dragon cults. Gee, I wonder if that has anything to do with anything here. Maybe.
As you wish.
Genetivi's research, steel symbol of Andraste. And corpse. Right. The body of the real Waylon. Well, that's sad. Poor Waylon. He didn't deserve that. Alright, and with that, off we go. Now, it's time to go to the Pearl and see if, well, no, I actually think I'm going to wait to go to the Pearl until later, because there's somebody there that you can actually hook up with her and Alistair at the same time if you're already in a romance with him and already sleeping with him, but not if you're not. So we're just going to wait until we are banging Alistair well and truly. And, we're going to wait, basically. And apparently there are a few small quests that I can go fulfill up here. Probably some illegal ones.
He came at me! It's not my fault! Why'd he come at me?
As you wish.
Yeah, they got to learn not to mess with me. Us, right? I mean, he's just going to disappear, right?
Lol, we are now carrying 2 entire body bags around with us. You know, just sort of holding them.
Magic
I guess.
exists to serve man and never.
We're gonna dump them in the well? That is a waste of good water. Dump the bags.
As you wish.
Apparently there's another body somewhere or other. Well, whatever.
Those who bring ham.
Or it could suddenly load really fucking slowly. So this is probably some more illegal stuff. That is a dark alley, and that is the pearl. But we, however, are going to go to the world map. So this is the village of Haven. This is where we go to follow Brother Genetivi's trail. But we are just going to the party camp. We are going to talk to Alistair about his unfortunate sister situation. Oh, Alistair. He is such a very, very little boy inside. Which is great if you have a character who is big.
The Blight. How will you end it?
We have to fight the Archdemon.
Is that all? It is surrounded by an ocean of darkspawn. How will you reach it? If you reach it, how will you slay it? You say you are a Grey Warden. I have heard stories of this order.
You doubt I'm really a warden?
Great strategists and peerless warriors. That is what we hear of the Wardens. So far, I am not impressed.
That's fair enough. I'm not here to impress you.
Evidently not. It remains only to see what you are here for.
Sten approves. He doesn't like it if you let yourself be pushed around.
You know, I've been thinking.
You can make fun of him. I was about to ask you if you were feeling sick. Such a rare event is worth informing me of, sure. And what have you been thinking about? We're gonna ask the decent one.
Back when we left Goldana's, you told me I needed to look out for myself more than I do.
It's not what I said at all.
I'm beginning to think you were right. I need to stop letting everyone else make my decisions for me. I need to take a stand and think about myself for a change, or I'm never going to be happy.
It's about time, I say.
Then from this point on, I'll be looking out for myself more. I should have done this a long time ago. I just wanted to thank you. Meeting you is the one bright spot out of everything that's happened.
Thank you, it's very sweet.
Let's go. We've got a lot left to do.
He's like, now I feel awkward. Alistair approves ever so slightly. Let's talk to him now.
At your service.
I'd like to discuss something private.
Well, we're in camp. Now's as good a time as any to talk, right?
Oh, no, this is way too forward.
Fair enough. Off we go then.
We are going to ask him some other questions first, because they get really funny
At
answers.
your service.
Some questions.
Of course.
So, if you were raised in the Chantry, have you never ... question mark?
Never what? Had a good pair of shoes?
You know what I mean. Sex?
Oh, so that's what we're talking about. And I admit I've never had a woman just come out and ask me like this, that's for sure. I, myself, never had the pleasure. Not that I haven't thought about it, of course. But, you know.
Oh, I see you lack the proper parts. Because you're trans! We're gonna say this just to see what happens.
Oh, that's funny. Such cruelty from such a beautiful woman. If you hear sobbing later, that's me crying myself to sleep.
You think I'm beautiful?
Of course you are, and you know it. You're ravishing, resourceful, and all those other things you probably hurt me for not saying.
So glad you remembered.
Let us be off then, lest your risque talk make my ears blush.
He likes dominant women, let's just say. As does Zevran. Let us talk to him and establish this fact.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
So why did you want to leave the Crows exactly?
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin after all is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
You didn't choose to join the Crows?
To be truthful, I didn't even know the Crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end.
Oh.
The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
That sounds awful.
Oh, I don't know about that. The Crows who are actually good enough to survive come to enjoy some of the benefits. In Antiva, being a Crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. Gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy.
Gender
but that
queers.
does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
So what is it you fancy exactly?
I fancy many things. I fancy things that are beautiful, and things that are strong. I fancy things that are dangerous and exciting. Would you be offended if I said I fancied you?
Not at all.
This is good to know. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
And when you get the first chance to betray me?
And be slaughtered? Perish the thought. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the Crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
There is a point later in the game where he does have the opportunity to betray you at the first possible opportunity, and if you don't have high enough approval with him, he does. So, just a bit of foreshadowing there. Care to answer some questions?
All right, but I get to stare at you luridly while you do so.
Do you actually enjoy being an assassin?
And why not? There are many things to enjoy about being a Crow in Antiva. You are respected, you are feared, the authorities go out of their way to overlook your trespasses, even the rewards are nothing to turn your nose up at. As for the killing part, well, some people simply need assassinating. Or do you disagree?
You've never killed an innocent?
Now there's an interesting word, innocent. How many men do you know who can claim to be truly innocent? But if you're talking generalities, such as children and relatives and bystanders and such, never on purpose. But it happens. It's unfortunate, but death comes to us all. If not me, then some wasting disease, or a fall down the stairs, or at the hands of a darkspawn. It's all relative in the end.
That sounds like an excuse.
Death happens, as we like to say. And when I get paid for it, death happens more often. As far as enjoying the act of killing itself, why not? There is a certain artistry to the deed. The pleasure of sinking your blade into their flesh and knowing that their life is in your hands.
That's a bit sick.
It is? Perhaps you are right. I've been told from time to time that I'm a sick, sick man. Often in bed, oddly enough. There are many things I did not enjoy about being a crow, of course. Having no choice, being treated as an expendable commodity, the rules. Oh, so many rules. But simply being an assassin, I like it just fine. I will continue to do it if I can, even if I am not a crow. Honestly, could you picture me doing something else?
Handsome elf like you, I can think of a few things.
I mean professionally. Or maybe you mean professionally as well.
I definitely
I
did.
don't intend to peddle my services to bored Ferelden noblewomen.
Nope.
It is an interesting thought, but I've always removed my clothes strictly on an amateur basis. A talented amateur, of course, but an amateur nonetheless. Of course, all these thoughts are moot. Chances are still good that you and I will perish, eaten by darkspawn or slain by the crows at some point. Very gruesomely, I imagine. But it is pleasant enough to chat about. Come, let's move on while our boots still have some wear in them.
Yeah, Zevran disapproves if you tell him it's fucking sick and nasty to like killing people. No surprises there, he's a little defensive about his life choices. So, yes. Let's see if I have any gifts to give people. Ancient map of the Imperium, ale. That I think you can give to... I don't have anything really specifically designed for anyone except that one thing for Leliana. This is for Leliana, but we haven't had that conversation with her, so it's a bit weird to give it to her before you actually know that she wants it. So we'll give that one gift to Leliana.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
Ta-da! So yes. As you have probably guessed by now, you give gifts based on who actually likes certain things. And with that, I think I'm actually going to cut it here.